not giving up is huge. And is it easy? No. It's very huge though, especially as much as I would love to grow. But like I said, it's a roller coaster.
Yeah.
I'd be lying to you if I'm like, oh yeah, I got this. I'm
Yeah.
still learning.
Yes.
So, but my persistence is there. I'm definitely, I'll tell you on a personal level, last year, it was probably my hardest year. I was struggling a lot, mentally, physically, and emotionally, and then it affected my business. So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I was ready to give up and throw in the towel.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily, I had a good little support system with me, and I was able to continue. And now I just see like the most biggest image of my goals. I just
Wow.
started writing every little goal I can think of, and now I have like just I have so much vision ahead of me
Mm-hmm.
that it's going to happen.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Small Guy on Main Street podcast YouTube channel. Thank you for joining me as I go on the journey and interview small business owners in the LA County and surrounding counties as well, and have them share the story of what has taken to get to this point in their life and in their business. Don't forget to follow on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, wherever you can find me. More than likely, I'm there. On Threads too. Yeah, Threads. Ay, ay, ay. So many. The interviews are about small businesses in the community, right? This is, yes, I'm in Los Angeles. This is in the Los Angeles community, and this could be in your community, Orange County, San Diego, Santa Barbara, wherever it can be, right? And that's what this is for, right? People in your community who you have an interaction with at one point, right? If you happen to shop here, right? So please watch it, get some knowledge. If you ever want to start your business, here it is, right? For your time, thank you for tuning in, and let's jump right into the interview. Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Small Guy on Main Street. Today I'm here with Brittany Fitton Villanueva. How are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Doing well. It's great. It's a lovely summer day,
It is.
right?
It's a little hot and humid, but it's great.
All right. Did,
It's been interesting weather.
did you get rain the other day?
I did actually.
I got sprinkles, but somebody more east said that they got good amount of rain.
I was on my way home. I got off pretty decent time on I think Tuesday, and I got some rain on around Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I
Great.
was kind of like it was like it's hot and it's raining.
Yeah, and like I said, they're humid.
Yeah,
But other than that, today,
it's
I think
beautiful.
because of that rain, it gave us a beautiful day. Which
Exactly.
I'm grateful. Today, let's just say, on a Friday, how busy do you get?
Actually, Fridays is probably one of my busiest days.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's actually my longest days typically. I start today I start at 7 in the morning to accommodate clients, and then I'll leave around like 9:30. I'm typically opening and closing on Fridays.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, okay, would it be something as your clients get prepared for the weekend? Is that more
Exactly.
Thursday,
Yeah,
Friday are the busiest?
especially when I'm in the spa industry, it'd be someone getting ready for their birthday, ready for vacation, or even just for the weekend if they're gonna go out. And that's why they say the Fridays are busiest. Saturdays
Right.
are a hit or miss for me because I don't open all Saturdays. But not on most Saturdays I don't open. I try to give everybody a break here because we have family to attend to. So our Fridays, especially even our Thursdays are really busy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, exactly. I would definitely say it's for the weekend.
Great. No, great. Okay, so we're here. Beautiful business.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
We're here at Hello Beautiful. Tell us, what is Hello Beautiful?
Hello Beautiful started as nothing. So it was definitely just a goal of mine. I remember sitting in my daughter's room when I came up with the name, and it was just super random. I just remember feeling like, okay, it's beauty, it's making women feel good. What is something that would, pop? And I just remember saying to myself, like, okay, we introduce ourselves. And that's kind of actually just how Hella Beautiful happened. Like, I was like, beautiful and hello, we greet. It's like, hey, welcome in, hello, beautiful.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how my name started. And we expanded from just lashing to makeup services, to spa services, to aesthetics.
Here at Hello Beautiful, what other services do you provide?
So we start off doing lashes.
Mm-hmm.
That's our main service here. But
Okay.
we've extended our services into aesthetics, which is like facials, skincare, whether it's your back, your legs, any part of your body. We do waxing, full body, so wherever body part. We also work a lot on the brows. We shape them, we tint them, we even tint like men's beards. We curl the lashes.
Okay.
And then I have renters, so they also have like services that they offer, which is more of like microneedling, which is aesthetics that she does. She's a nurse, and then we have lymphatic massaging, which is like drainage and stuff like that. I don't know too much about it, but the clients love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Great. So, from my understanding, right, when I think of spa, I think about, almost hot stones and almost like a steam room or something therapeutic in a sense.
Correct.
Is that about right?
Yeah, so don't think of Brooke Williams of like the pool and the spa. I mean, sorry, the pool and the steam room.
Yeah.
As great as that would be, we do definitely more of the therapeutic. So we kind of make our clients come in and relax. So if you enter every room here, it's dark. It's just a very minimal light. We have our noises going on. So when you enter in here, my goal is for you to be able to relax, whether it's a lash service or a spa service. So we give like hand massages during our facials, the feet massage, the actual face massage. When we're doing a back facial, a back massage. So we do all the therapeutic part of the spa. We just don't have the whole Brooke Williams pool sauna type.
Can I ask, not yet? Would that be something?
Oh, that is definitely a goal of mine. Totally, yeah. My goal would be to have an actual full-on spa.
Nice.
Definitely in the books, in the works, in my 10-year plan, somewhere in there. Whenever it happens, it will, but it is in the goals.
Great. To your services, we recently added new services. I believe I saw Lash and spa memberships.
Yes. So we haven't launched it yet. We are about to launch it, but
okay.
I'd be more than happy to tell you about it.
Yeah, please do.
So I do find a need that these we do have reoccurring clients, and I wanted to make them feel a little bit more special by giving them a little bit more discount, but also giving discounted on other services. And that way, they're already loyal to us, so why not?
Yeah.
And with that membership, knowing that they are loyal, we're able to offer them a little bit more than we can just a regular client walking in. So we wanted to feel more exclusive. We're going to launch it soon. I plan on launching it in around end of September, October. Maybe it's a little bit sooner, but we are going to pre-sell it to, or pre-give it out to our current clients before we offer it to the
public.
Yeah, exactly.
Great. No, that's great. In addition to new services, I think you had ebooks and training.
Yeah, so that actually goes on the other side of my second business, which is more of teaching, which is what I have a passion for. If someone gets me started in this business or talking, I'll just talk forever because I absolutely love what I do. But not only do I love what I do, I love showing other people what I do. So I just wanted to adventure out into more of teaching other people outside of even just my community or California to other states. And with that, I'm able to do that through an ebook or through a pre-recorded video.
So real quick, now, you did mention your other business. Okay, so Hello Beautiful, one side is the Lash Bar, spa.
Correct.
Now the other side is Academy and supplies.
Exactly.
Give me more detail on the Lash supplies and Academy.
Sure. So, like I mentioned a little bit before, I I love teaching. I love teaching what other people. I love teaching other people what I do, just because I have such a passion for it. And if any of like my mentees and students have worked with me, they felt that passion through me. Um, but as well as teaching, I wanted to make sure that not only did my spa have the quality of product that I wanted for my spa with the lashes, so did my students. But then I also wanted it to open up to the community as well. So I do take pride in my supply store. I handpicked everything. I've tried a bunch of samples. I've tried a bunch of, and everything you could think of, I probably tried a bunch of before I even purchased it. So yeah, that's just like that was a whole thing on its own. It took me about a good year and a half of research just to be able to get it launched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. What goes on when you are choosing the products? And I'm asking because just by looking at your place, I want to say detail is important to you.
Very. Thank you.
So in that sense, the products, the thousands, the millions that may be out there, what was the process? How did you know this one was the right one for you to use and to be on your clients?
Perfect. So I reached out to actually quite a few distributors, and everyone has, very similar type of product, but when it came down to material and quality, that's actually, obviously what broke it.
Yeah.
But when I actually got into this industry, I always wanted to start with something very natural. My clientele is that type of clientele. Yeah. I get the very natural looks, and not all lashes out there are natural, even if you apply just one. They can be very dark, or they can look very more synthetic type than something maybe more of like a natural hair look. So once I played with them and I kind of figured it out, I kind of just would apply it to my clients, and hopefully they liked it. We'll see how it lasts. We'll see what it looks like, how it feels on them. And so plenty of my clients have been guinea pigs of new products, and from there I get feedback, and with the feedback I'm able to launch a new product.
As you mentioned, getting these products right, trying them on yourself, clientele, right? The process, how easy was it? How difficult was it to really finalize that product?
So I would definitely say that's a two-way question, just because it's easy to get product. It's easy to get your hands on product. And once you just know how to get your hands on product, that's the easy part. The hard part is the trial and error, because just because I might think it's so great, maybe other lash techs might not think so. So I've had trial and error. I've had bought product in my time where I've bought a good amount, and instead of starting small, got really excited and completely took a loss on it because it didn't sell as fast as I thought it would. And then, I try to keep the shelf life and stuff like that. Yes. So now I learned to just, buy small portions and then test it out that way, and then finalize it through there. So I spent good money into it. Again, trial and error. And if I can always help another tech or something like that prevent that error, I will. But finalizing it, it actually comes down to my customers, because I will use the certain products here, but then I also have other lash material lines that I do launch out for other lash techs that they might like. So my customers are actually the ones that tell me yes or no when it comes to finalizing a product and keeping it on the shelf.
Yes. Well, like I said, for you, but of course, since you also offer supplies, whoever comes in to get some, then they're gonna like them or not.
Exactly.
But that's where you get that feedback.
Exactly. Yeah. Am I always gonna have the perfect product? I hope so. It's the goal, right? But am I always? I'm going to have to go through that phase every single time I try to launch something new. So when something new comes out, or for instance, a big thing right now is cashmere lashes, which I absolutely love. When I recently launched, I absolutely love them, and they're a big thing right now. But then at one point, easy blooming lashes was really big, but then it just kind of faded out. So then, same thing. Then I had to stop purchasing it. If I ordered too much, same thing. And it's all trial and error, but it's been a very fun roller coaster. and a lot of learning experience.
Okay, so officially, when was Hello Beautiful created?
Hello Beautiful has been created for years,
Yes.
but the actual when I actually finally made it a Hello Beautiful, made a name for itself. For instance, like I've been here about 4 years now, and then I was couple years down the street, but it all started in Long Beach from my house. So yeah, it's just been a little training process. But if I really want to call Hello Beautiful like an actual true start, it was about 7 years ago.
Now, okay, what got you into it? I mean, you may have used it, but what really triggered it and said, let me go with this. Let me run this and try to create something.
Yeah, so I actually worked a 9 to 5 corporate job. Great job. I at least thought so. Great benefits, great 401k. But I was pregnant. So I was like, man, one, I need to learn. I lived in, at that time, I lived in Long Beach and I needed to make some more money. I have a baby on the way. And I needed something. It basically was a side hustle for me. And that's how it started. And how I got into it, I personally got them done. But a friend of mine, I saw her, I was like, she's making some good money. So I was like, I could do this, you know? And coming from an hourly job, I was like, man, I can make that in a couple hours and I work all day, even at a good paying job. And so I took a training and I went with it. And yeah, and then I remember going in with it and I was like, man, this is too hard. I'm going to quit. And then I just remember going, I spent all that money. I always do that. And then I was like, you know what? I'm not going to let it happen this time. I'm going to go for it. And I did. I went for it. And look what it turned into. I didn't give up.
Right.
And I was this close. I was this close of quitting because I was like, man, this is so hard.
Yeah.
I can't do this. But then I had to take a step back and think about everything we've done is hard. Everything from, learning something brand new.
Yeah.
So you never know what it turns into. Yeah.
Okay. I guess this is the difficult part, right? We don't know, right?
Right.
Down the line, 2 years, 5, 7, 10. But how important is persistence? How important is, not to give up? How important is to continue having hope, continue to see, the future?
Not giving up is huge. And is it easy? No. It's very huge though, especially as much as I would love to grow. But like I said, it's a roller coaster. I'd be lying to you if I'm like, oh yeah, I got this. I'm still learning. Yes. So, but my persistence is there. I am definitely, I'll tell you on a personal level, last year, it was probably my hardest year. I was struggling a lot, mentally, physically, and emotionally, and then it affected my business. So I was like, I was ready to give up and throw in the towel. But luckily, I had a good little support system with me, and I was able to continue. And now I just see like the most biggest image of my goals. I just started writing every little goal I can think of, and now I have like just I have so much vision ahead of me that it's going to happen.
Yes.
And that's all I can keep putting in my head. Yes. It will happen with patience, and keeping my patience. Yeah. But as long as I tell myself I can do it, and I keep my head in the game, and I will get there, I will. So persistence, it's there.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. But like you said, it's a roller coaster, right? And you could have one good year, then you could have one bad year, but you could have continuously. You could be having good years, but then for whatever reason, some things are out of your control.
Life.
Right. Life. Yes, 100%. I mean, life happens, and then you have that bad year, and you may question yourself. You may question your beliefs. You may question everything that you're doing, and totally. That's correct. And totally. That's where you'll find out if going through that, if you continue, is it worth it?
Correct. Exactly. And I mean, honestly, week by week, if you ask anyone in my industry, it's like 1 month you're like, oh, I'm doing so great. And then like the next month you're like, I probably should be getting a job because it feels like that
Yeah.
sometimes. And for me, luckily, again, I've always figured it out. I've always had that like entrepreneurship, like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to make this happen and make sure I'm pulling people from here. But yeah. And then I express this a lot in other entrepreneurs because I'm not perfect. And just because I have a beautiful place doesn't mean I have to can't wait. I need to wake up every day and remember it can be all taken from me. So I'm constantly trying to give myself motivation and remind myself it's okay to have self-doubt because it's part of the process. And like I said, I mentor other people, and I currently have a couple under me for they mentor me and watch me and listen to me and call me all year long. And I kind of have to remember, I have to kind of remind them like, hey, I went through this too. Like I remember sitting at my desk and going, I can't do this. And so like I said, whether it's a great year, I can still have self-doubt, or I can have a really bad year and then even worse, I can be like, I'm done. But yeah.
Okay, so let me ask this. How did you feel, or how do you feel now, right? To what you felt when you had your corporate job? Because thinking in the mental standpoint, right? People, they get a job, they want a good paying job, and by all means, we don't want the best for sure. But it's the lifestyle that comes with that.
Totally.
Right? Job security, they say, but everybody could get laid off at any given point in time. How do you feel now, knowing what you have now as a business owner?
Yeah, knowing what I have now, I actually just had a conversation with my mom the other day. She's like, oh, I've always wanted to go back to school just to further my education. I'll totally explain that to you another moment. But mom's like, oh yeah, you should. I'm like, I don't think I could ever go back to working for somebody. Now, don't be wrong. Yeah. I know there's just, some people are made to be entrepreneurs and some people are not. And I wouldn't be in business if I didn't have employees and that people that wanted to work, that wanted to work under me. And so I am thankful for workers and I am thankful for that. And then, but so when it comes to the feeling of it, I'm actually every day I'm like very thankful that I took that risk. Because I don't have to don't get me wrong, I still have to wake up every day to come here, but every day I walk into that door, I don't feel like I'm actually working. I have to work, that's how I make my money, but I come in every day normally fine, at peace. I'm not like, oh, I have to report to somebody or I have an assignment done. I literally have to come in, work on my employees. Those are technically my bosses, because I have to cater to them every day or every time they come and see me. But my assignments and whatever I put into it is what I get out of it. So, and comparing that to the corporate world, like I said, it has its pros and cons. The corporate world, I was able to clock in and clock out. I can't do that with my business. I can't clock in and clock out and expect to be like happy. Yes, am I learning to do work balance in life? Of course. I still struggle with it, but yeah. So I honestly, I believe it has this. It depends. It really depends on the person. I absolutely love being an entrepreneur. I love making the next dollar. I love figuring out how to, what can I do better every day, compared to somewhere in the corporate world, right? I am set salary, so someone does have to give me a raise. But like I said, I get to clock in and clock out, or do my job, and that's it. So yeah, and they give me benefits, and I have to figure out benefits on my side. So, But would I trade it? Never. Bottom line, would I trade it ever? No. Yeah. Knowing where I am and what potential I have to be at, no. Yeah, definitely not.
Okay, so in your corporate job, right? What really made you say, I'm done with it? And did you already thought, when you say you were done with it, did you already said, I'm gonna go on this full on?
Yeah, so when I decided to actually do this full time, was when I realized I was making more money than working my full-time job. But was it very nerve-wracking? Of course. But I actually had to sit there and weigh out my options. If I wanted to higher pay and move up in the company, I did have to go back to school. And when it came to school, I didn't actually have much education. I'm actually a freshman dropout, like ninth grade dropout. I went to maybe 2 weeks of freshman and I dropped out of high school because I had to work. And a lot of people don't know that about me. A lot of people, when they see me, they're like, oh, she came from, education and she passed high school. I actually lived in foster care since I was a younger preteen all the way up to adulting.
Yeah.
And then not even to get too much into my life, but I actually ran away from foster care at the age of 14 and I've lived on my own since. And so I didn't ever get the opportunity to go back to school and finish my education. I did now as a business owner. I actually was able to create my business, work from home, and go to college and get my degree from there.
Right.
And now I sit with a beautiful degree and yeah, but I lost my train of thought. I had like a vision of me in school. Like I was like, oh yeah, I never got to freaking walk. Like I got my diploma. It's a diploma, right? I got my diploma and I was like, man, I was kidding.
But okay, so now that's difficult. That sounds really difficult, especially of course if you're an adolescent, right? You don't know how the world is out there, right? Because it's crazy, can be crazy. But in you, right, going back to get your education, right? Why was that important for you?
It was important for me to say I could do it, and I did it. And I wanted my kids just to make sure that they seen that I went back, and I went back at any age. And that was important to me because it's something I felt like I never fulfilled. I never got to walk across stage. I never got my, high school diploma that most people get.
Yeah.
I had to go back and get my GED. And then I felt like that wasn't enough. I really wanted that cap and gown. And so that was something that fulfilled me, feeling that. Yeah. Will I ever use a degree? Probably not. Because maybe I can't say never.
No, yeah.
I will never say never, but this has became a lot more blessing than I've ever thought it would be. But yeah.
Now, would you ever use it? You never know, right? But is it as important for you knowing that you could complete such thing at a later age, right? And of course, the education you got there, right? For all the classes you had to take, that's valuable information that stimulates your mind. And that's something, like they say, they can't take that away from you.
Exactly.
And how you use it is up to you.
Exactly.
Right? If that degree, you could put it to work and apply it somewhere, it's an option.
Of course.
But does it make you smarter, wiser
of course
person? Right? That's the value that I think, regardless of what someone gets from furthering their education, regardless if it's from books, regardless if it's from going to college. Some people say they're not meant for college, and acceptable, right? Because like I said, not everybody's meant for everything.
Exactly.
Right? But if you could further your knowledge in whatever way, if it's going to be on the job training, if it's you 100% figuring it out yourself from zero, right? And you put in all the work, and then it's valuable.
Exactly.
But for you, I think is what I'm getting is that it was something within you that you just wanted to accomplish.
Exactly. And it's funny that you say they can't take it from you, because I say this all the time. Getting a degree, whether it's your esthetician license, your cosmetology license, any type of degree, right? Yeah, like no one can take it from you. It's yours.
Yeah.
It's yours forever. Whether you use it at that moment or you don't, it's yours forever. And that's something I always preach. Like I preach as well. I'm like, aesthetics is such a great license, and that's what I have a license in, to be here and do this. It doesn't hurt. I recommend everyone to do it, because it's only so many, it's a max maybe a year of your life, and it's a degree that you can carry till the day till the day you die. Right? I mean a license, and you don't know what you can do with it. Not what way you, if someone got their a second license 10 years ago, would never have thought that it would be blooming now, so
Right.
exactly, it's that, it's the accomplishment of just holding something that is yours and it's yours forever.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Right. No, of course, just continue pushing yourself. Right.
Of course.
If you use it, that's on you. Okay, but at least you're able to accomplish.
You finished it. Yeah.
And then
even if you like lose motivation for it, which I lost motivation for school for a while, but I still pushed, and I was like, okay, remember there's a goal. There's more than money. It's a goal. It's an accomplishment. And I remember struggling towards the very last years of my schooling. I was like, oh, do I even really need this? I don't even want to do this anymore. And then I was like, no, I have my mind on a goal, and then now I have a beautiful degree, and it's framed and it's mine. It's mine forever.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you earned it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Now, like you said, in the beginning, right? Long Beach, right? You had this slightly different. You had a mobile service.
Exactly.
Right.
I think you've done some research.
A little bit. I mean, I have to. I have
no,
to,
of course.
How was that? What did you learn? And well, now it's no longer an offer, right? No longer a service.
No, definitely not.
But what did you learn? What did you learn about the business? What did you learn about the whole experience?
I learned a lot, actually. I learned how to schedule management was one, and I stress that enough because schedule management was probably one of my hardest things to do, because I still wanted to and I actually thank myself for doing mobile, because for schedule management here as well, like be able to turn a room around with so much time. Schedule management was huge, and that was something I learned a lot with mobile is I have to make sure I got from A to B, B to C, all enough time with takedown, with setup, even if there's might be a slight complication or things like that. And I have to make sure that I'm on time to my next client. It also taught me boundaries. And I feel like a lot of people should do mobile, and it teaches you boundaries because you're going into someone's home, and the first thing someone likes to do is chat because they want you to see your home. But us teaching boundaries is like, hey, I'm here for this time. Let's get you on that table, and let's lay you down, because typically they think you're they're the only client, and so that actually taught me a lot to run my business here, because I still have to make sure I hold my boundaries if you don't show up, things like that. So that's something I did learn from mobile, and that I did not want to do it anymore. No. It's a lot of work.
One of the hard parts is, of course, driving around. It's time consuming. It eats a lot of your time during the day, right? So you think about it, and in economics way, is like if you have a physical location, you could do more for that time.
Exactly. But like I said, that was actually just that right there alone. I didn't have the room in my apartment to host people. I had a brand new baby. Trying to think. Mobile was just a great way. It was a stepping stone. So people that want to get out of their home, or maybe like I couldn't do lashing, or I can't do this because my home is not welcoming. There's always some way to do mobile services. Now the only thing also too is that there's not all clients that want mobile services. They do want to come to you. So I use that as a stepping stone. Saved all my money and invest most 98% of my money and back into the business, so I could get myself a studio because I didn't have the funds to do it. And then every day I woke up loading my car, gave me a little bit more motivation to be able to expand so I can have my own studio. So I didn't have to always do mobile. And don't be wrong, mobile is still great. I did mobile all the way up until maybe 2 years ago. But it does teach you a lot. And I think it teaches you the hustle of it for sure.
Well, I mean, it's great. Obviously, it's a service. that you take to them, right, to the clients.
Right.
And what client wouldn't want that, right? It's like, well, you're telling me that just, I'll set up an appointment and you come to me, I don't got to worry about anything else.
The best of both worlds, right?
Yeah. So for the client, it's understandable that they will love the service. Now, of course, for the flip side of that, the business side is how can it really be done efficiently, hopefully profitable, and continue to do it that way all the time.
Right.
Right. So that's the hard part on the business side.
Totally. Totally.
But it's a great service for the business, for the client.
Of course. Yeah. And it does and you'd be surprised how many people love that service. They're like, you're going to come to me, and you can charge more as a luxury service. But like you were mentioning, like business aspects, I can only work on one client at a time, and that's it. Yeah. Right. And it's just that one client from the next client, and maybe I can only fit one or two in on a day. And how much, and if I want to, if I want to grow, I have, you have to think outside the box. And you're like, okay, well, I started mobile, let's do mobile, and my studio, and then transition everybody into your studio.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
No, yeah, so you figure it out, of course, but that's one way for you to test the waters.
Of course.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, given your childhood, your teen years, right? You think that got you ready for entrepreneurship?
Honestly, I think about it all the time, actually. I always think about where did I get my ambition from? And it is from my childhood. A lot of people, they always go, oh man, I'm sorry to hear your story. Or it's like simple things like that. And I'm like, don't be. I'm like, that's why I am the way I am. I have a lot of ambition. It taught me a lot. And so, yeah, I went and worked for a little bit of money, like cash paid jobs, and it taught me how to work really hard. It taught me, I did work for the small business owner, and it got me ready. And in each business I entered, I learned something new. I learned to grab and learn something from this, or I would ask questions, and then and not knowing at all that I was ever going to own a business, but I would ask questions, or how do you do that? Or how do you do this? Or I learned this and I learned that, and I put it all together. And then now and it brought me to the business I have today. And if I could work that hard for this person, I could do it. And it constantly reminded me. And to this day, I'm really thankful for all the hard work I had to go through to get where I am today. And I've always had the grind in me, and that was just more again from my childhood, learning how to just really make the next dollar. I keep saying that, but that's how it felt when I was younger. I was like, I gotta pay this bill, I gotta pay that bill, and you're always just trying to figure it out when and you're working for everybody but yourself, and you're just tired. And then and then next thing you know, I landed a great job here, and the great job here, and great job here, and then I just end up working for myself from everything I learned. And I tell people I was in the banking industry. That was one of my last jobs I worked for, and that taught me a lot.
Yeah.
And before that, I was management in a gym. And before that, I worked for a small business owner, and I traveled a lot. And I became to a point where I was a co-management for him. Okay. And and then that taught me how to manage a team, and not knowing any of that, and not knowing that where I would be today. So I am thankful for every little step I've been in life.
And you should be, right?
Yeah.
That's I guess that's part of life.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah. There's no book on life, right? We can read as many books as we want, but if life was perfect like that, it's this is how it's gonna happen,
Right. Yeah, no such thing. But it's taking every opportunity.
Right.
Good or bad.
Right.
And learning from it. Right. Giving it your best. Right. What can you take from it? How can I help you down the line? Well, truly, you never know, because once you get to that next step, then you may recall what you picked up before.
Totally, exactly.
And that's how it builds up, because, of course, some of us, as teens, when we're young, we have that young but dumb mentality that we think we know it all.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Right? And
can't tell me what to do. No.
Yeah, but so in that sense, it's like you know enough, but there's, I mean, there's mountains of information that you still, have not.
And that comes even I like now that you mentioned, as soon as you mentioned that, I was like, oh my goodness, because when I first opened this business, I was like, I know everything, right? And but I really didn't. I was very like, I thought I had to act. I feel like I had to act like that way. But now, fast forward, even the past 3 years, all I did was take a step back and learn a lot.
Yeah.
And I learned from other people. And if you just keep your two ears open, and you can hear so much from other entrepreneurs, like for instance, like you're doing this podcast, and that's kind of what I like. It takes 5 minutes of my day, and whether the podcast is 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, I want to hear what they have to say. I might find something. I'm always learning. And when you say that, I was a little bit more, I wouldn't say, I've always been an open book, and I've always been very like learning, but there was a point where I'm like, I feel like I knew it all, and I was like, I didn't have to learn because I'm teaching now, but that's not the case. And yeah, but
well, just recently, right? And I think for myself, right, it's, you get to a certain peak, right? You have a vision, you have a goal, and you work hard for it, and it may give you, struggles or not, and you get to that. You get to that peak, and then you feel confident, you feel cocky, you feel like you're untouchable, and but then you decide to take on another challenge, and that
proves you wrong.
That slaps you in the face, and you're like, you think you know enough?
Yeah.
You think you got it locked? You think you're such a badass? Well, here you go, right? Figure this out. And have you seen the Arnold Netflix?
No.
Okay, so there it shows a lot about him, a lot that I didn't know. But it shows him about how he challenged himself, and when he reached to the top of the peak, he will see other peaks that now were the next challenge, right? And of course, if you think about it, literally, if you're climbing up a peak, it's not gonna be easy. It's gonna be uphill. The terrain, you never know what you're gonna face, right? What's gonna take for you to get to the top of the mountain, and then to the next one, and then to the next one. But it's like, how can I say? It's just going to the next one brings you back down to earth from when you were when you were at the previous peak, because it's a whole new thing.
Yeah, totally. You realize like I'm here, but like there's all of this too, like and like I said, last year humbled me a lot. I learned a lot last year. Again, just from everything around. I don't really talk about it, but yeah, like it's like I was here, and I went right back here, and I was like, okay, let's kind of, and then that's causes me to go, wait, let me take a step back and let me learn from all these other people, which I've been doing for years. But like I said, last year I took and I only mention that because I try to express to people, it's not always like, oh, you did this and you're just uphill. No, I went uphill, whoo, and now I'm going back uphill. And hopefully I go even higher and higher and higher. And I expect for another whoo, but it's part of business, So, but yeah.
No, right. No, 100%. And that's just part of it. And as long as you continue to challenge yourself.
Exactly.
Which is one of the drawbacks at times when you work in a corporate job or a regular job, because you're set there, so to speak. You're right. You could give them 25 years in the same position if you choose to. If you ever want to become supervisor, manager, or plant manager, or vice president, whatever you want. But those are right. That comes with its own challenges. But quite technically, they'll be happy to keep you in the same position.
Of course. For the same pay.
For the same pay forever.
Maybe throw a little bit of someone else's job at you. No kidding.
yeah, you never know. And it's just a quick fact about that. So there was an article that I briefly saw. I didn't read the whole thing, but it's how a 92-year-old worked for her job for 72 years.
I've seen that. It was at Was it a grocery store? No, no, Macy's, JCPenney.
I think it was something like that. And
It was a department store,
I
right?
think, yeah, it was.
I was like, I said the same thing. I was like, oh
72
my
years.
gosh, since she was like 19 or something like that, right? Yeah.
I figured, yeah.
Yeah, I read the article.
Okay.
If we're thinking the same one.
I think so.
And I was like, oh my gosh. And you know what she got? No, I was kidding. Just kidding.
$500. No, it's I didn't read the whole thing, but I was like 72 years. I mean, the one of the things was that how do you work or how do you stay in one place?
Right. For that long.
And yeah, for that long and enjoy it. How do you make that one place feel brand new every day? Enjoyable every day? How do you really make that? Because if you have a job, it's exciting, right? And that excitement may fade, right? Maybe same as the business, right? The business, right? Oh, we got this new thing going. Let's go. But then you may plateau in a sense, and then it's like, okay, how do we keep the momentum going? How do we? So it's like 72 years in a job plays a huge part on your mentality, which is very great. Don't get me wrong. If you can make it work out,
Yeah, totally.
But it's like, I don't know.
It's amazing, Yeah, I come that, and that's why I always say it's like, some people are just really comfortable with their corporate lives, and then there's some people that want more, and that's okay. Both are okay, right? Both are okay. You're okay to be comfortable and live your, just get by, I personally know somebody that says the same thing. She's like, I love my job every day, and then she goes, I'm glad I get to clock in, clock out, and that's my life. I'm happy with it, and I'm happy for her to be happy. Then you have on the other hand this person that's working really hard to promote and stuff like that too. So, and like, yeah, exactly. Like, it's your mindset too. Like if you're happy and that's what you enjoy in life, great. So
it's just like just figure it out for yourself.
Of course, yeah.
Right. There's nothing wrong with keeping a 9 to 5 if it gives you the life that you want.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's just, of course, how do you kind of make it work? For whatever amount of time you want to be there.
Right.
And same as a business. How are you gonna make it work? Right.
Right.
But yeah, it was crazy. I was like 72.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that at.
I was like, wow.
I think it was a department store. I think it was Macy's before it got bought out or something. I forgot what it was. Something prior, but yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah, 72 years. Can you do that? Dedicate your life.
Now, do you thrive off challenges?
I do. I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Let me ask this. You competed in a bodybuilding competition.
Yes.
Right. What was the dedication? I mean, because you know that you have to torture your body, so to speak.
Of course, yeah.
What was the dedication that you put towards that? To
the challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, the challenge. And actually, in everything I do, it's like the challenge. And so when I chose to do that, it was just I got to my body to a certain point, and I was like, oh, I can do this. And it was just a challenge of like, I can do this. And yeah, and that's how I ended up stepping on stage. And I love the challenge of it. It was great. And I think about it all the time. I look back and I'm like, how did I do it? So, but yeah, that's what I feed off of. I feed off the next challenge.
Right. How do you compare that to the business? Because you have to work at that for
so a lot of determination, and what I have to same with what those two definitely have in common is the discipline. The party and the food and all that it's always going to be there. It's going to be there the rest of your life. But if you just put this little bit of effort in, right? For instance, for competing, it took me 6 months to get my body right. But it took me a solid 4 months of no going out, no doing anything. it's because I had a goal, right? And I wanted that goal, and everyone around me was like, "Oh, you're fine, just do it, like just go out, just eat, But I had a determination, I had a goal, and so that comes back into my business. Business is the same way. If you really want your business to be successful, you need that dedication, you need that determination, and you need that that goal. Where are you trying to get to? And if you don't have goals, you're not going to get anywhere. And like I tell that family function, it will be there. Yeah. Do you want to miss out on your family? No, of course not. But as you're building your business and you want it to become successful, the first 2 years are so important. That you're going to have to make sacrifices. And for the bikini competition, it was like, not eat the cupcake, not eat the hamburger, not eat this, not do this, not drink this, not that. So you're not going to eat the food. You're not going to go out and party. You're not going to do any of that. Same with the business. Like, you have to remember that, if you're really going to do this and this is all what you want, you have to separate what other people are not willing to do, which is the dedication and determination of staying up, working early, going late to bed late, putting in all these hours, but still being a mom, or dad or whatever. And, so that's those two things totally come into hand in hand. Different goals, but when it comes down to the foundation of them, the same thing.
Right. So when it comes to your business, you put it, I want to say how I seen it, right? How I look at it through your social media, through your website. It's a big priority, as it should be, right? And you being in the sector of services, because you offer that directly to your clients, the experience they have here has to be top notch. It has to be how you make it. And while I was doing more research, you have, and this goes back to your mobile days, when you would state that you receive an unforgettable experience from start to finish. And this was back in 2019, right? How important is that for you to give the unforgettable experience?
Oh, I stand by it, because there's this, people will always remember the experience more than the service. And I truly believe in that. Don't get me wrong, they'll remember the service and how great it was, but the experience is what everything is. And I put that on, actually, to rewind a little bit, that actually kind of goes back into my customer service days, was that people work with me because of my service. People work with me because of this. I could have made an error here and there, and it's okay. The service was still top notch. Yeah. And that's what separates me from maybe the person down the street. I want to get to know you. I want to know you on a personal level. I want to make sure you're comfortable. When you enter one of those rooms, that's the first thing I'm asking you. Are you comfortable? Are you warm? Are you cold? Are you hot? And I want to make sure you have a glass of water, a bottle of water before you leave, or a snack, or I just want to make sure you know that you're appreciated, and to have you pick me out of everybody else. And so because of that experience, because you chose me, I want to make sure I always give you that unforgettable experience, remembering who I am, and that, I appreciate your business. So I stand by that.
Okay, right. No, and like I said, I saw that just obviously through online, because I have not came here for a service, right? So I haven't gone through a process, but I've seen that through online. Now, when you were offering services, mobile services, you would provide, what you will use to provide will be a celebration setup, silk robe, slippers, fruit, wine, and much more. And that was a particular service.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
Explain that service.
Oh man, I was like, wow. Yeah. So again, how can I separate myself from the other mobile person? And those are just something that I always I try to add on to maybe. If you hired me for someone's birthday, I'm going to come and show up with something for a birthday, and make that, again, that experience unforgettable. Like, I didn't just come in and do some lashes or a facial on you.
Yeah.
I came in and congratulated you on your graduation, or I came in with my other girl. I had a team at for mobile. So yeah, this is when I had a team. This is actually when I had like a little team going on. We're all subcontractors, so we just kind of collab together. But yeah, like, well, while one person's waiting for me, they'll have strawberries and stuff like that. But that's something I just kind of made sure, I wanted to make sure I go over and beyond to, once again, to show appreciation. Right. And then, once they're done with their facial, they can always remember me, like, oh, she showed up with a birthday cake, or she showed up with some birthday balloons, or she showed up with like strawberries and some champagne, because everyone likes free stuff. No, like, no, we always remember those little details, right? Course, and if you actually, and like, I'm glad you mentioned that, the detail in my business, because I do pay attention to detail, whether it comes to servicing my customers, making sure they're happy, to down to my business, and having little of something, so.
Yeah, and that was, what I caught on before that, right? And you continue to do that, right? And of course, it keeps the clients happy. It keeps you happy.
Exactly.
It keeps your technicians happy. Why not, right?
Right.
And this is just a few services that I saw recently that you posted. I think it was in the basis of you set up your appointment, right? I said you will have snacks, right? If they wish, they could have an extra blanket.
Yes.
Right. Water bottle, phone charger, because people are in the hurry and they
they're always on the go.
If they want quiet time, right?
Of course.
The client chooses the type of music if they wish so. Knee support, and one that I was it kind of was like, it wouldn't matter, but it would matter, because it was a room temperature, and I'm saying that it doesn't matter, but we're not all alike.
We're not,
and those are important things, because if I wanted a little more warmer, does not mean the other person will like the same, and you have to continue,
Exactly. Like, I might be super cold, my client might be super hot, and when it comes down to the day, they're the one that's paying for the service, and they're the ones that have to be comfortable. They're the one that has to lay there for 2 hours, and and if, trust me, I've laid down on a table for an hour and feel uncomfortable, and I was like, oh, get me off this thing. But so I just want to make sure that they're comfortable, they fall asleep. But like, yeah, little details like that. Again, I try to, you wouldn't think of a room temperature being it. But if you ever sat in a room cold, you can feel uncomfortable, or if too hot, you can feel uncomfortable.
Yes.
Knee support for your back. I don't know anything about your medical history or anything, but I would love to be able to accommodate you if you do. A blanket, because we all like to, even if it's, I like to sleep with a blanket, like, even if it's hot. So, just comfort. So
yeah, it's just the details, and it's part of the whole experience, right? It's just from the second they come in, right, to the second they leave, right? It's just, you are the one that could take control of certain matters, and could provide them with whatever you can provide them, so they could have an unforgettable experience.
Right. Exactly.
That's great. Yeah, that was like, wow.
Oh.
You go above and beyond, which is really great.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Now, on the basis of service, you did customer service. Going to that next level, would you say, did you ever have a great experience yourself, or did you ever have a bad one where you said, I'm not gonna ever do such thing? Or, because it could go both ways, right?
Of course,
you can learn from both.
I've had both personally, yeah. Okay. And you learn from them too,
right?
And funny to throw it out there, but I wanted to really study what like people around me and how they service their customers before I could even attempt to kind of like grow myself. And so, and I mean, I feel like even just personal services, I have always had great experiences and I've had some bad experiences. But when it came even just to myself, again, studying other people's businesses that they do similar services as me, I would take like, if it was a bad service or greeting personally and stuff like that, I would try to switch. I would try to learn from the experience. I never got upset or anything. And same with positive. It was like, wow, that was a great service. I'm gonna try to incorporate that. And these are all little things. Even every little detail I've learned from my clients is something like that. But yes, there has been times where I'm like, wow, that was a spectacular service. That was just amazing. And then there's times where I just stay quiet because it was just like, I drove here, like
Nothing
I came
special.
here. Yeah. And I didn't feel like you cared, and I think that's all we care about, right? We want to be taken care of. We want to be catered to, and we want to feel special. And that's what that's what it comes down to.
Yeah. It takes a lot of work.
Yes.
But it's very important.
Yes. Very.
Very important.
That extra step.
Yeah. The extra mile, right? To go. And like I said, for them to leave happy, for them to satisfied 100%.
Of course, yes.
On your website, there's a section, it's founder, right? And there's a statement, right? You compose that statement, and it's, I believe, because it does have I. So it's, and I quote, it says, I started Hello Beautiful with only a big dream in mind, very little money in my bank account, and no guidance with this industry. Now, what I got from that is that it was really difficult, right? It was really something that, again, that you were gonna challenge yourself, that you were gonna go into this new adventure.
I wanted to do something, and I wanted a business. I wanted to do this, but exactly like I said, I didn't have much money. And I was still working my full-time job. So.
Right. And that was, let me ask this. It says no guidance with this industry.
Correct.
Right. Doing anything alone is difficult. I mean, I may add extremely difficult because you're blind in a sense.
Right.
Right. And what challenges do you recall just having your business grow? Maybe some of the major ones, and how did you overcome them?
There's so many.
Oh my God. No, like I said, maybe the major ones.
The major ones, yeah.
There's just they have them.
Let me think. Two major ones. Say the question one more time.
Okay, so doing this alone, right? What was some major challenges that you did face as you were building up your business, and how did you overcome them?
Pricing.
Pricing.
When you instantly say challenge, I think pricing, because I immediately want to think me, right? I want to think, and remember, I hold every dollar I own. So I wanted to think me. I'm like, oh, I can't charge this much because I personally wouldn't pay it, right?
Right.
But the person next to me wouldn't pay it, And so I guess one of my and I say that's a challenge because you can't grow your business without funds and without money, and you got to make sure you're making profit. And I think that was personally one of my challenges. One of my challenges was to get to a point of my pricing where I had profit. And again, I would always go, oh gosh, I would never pay that much for that, and And even though I really love the service, I just, I probably personally was like, oh no, now would I? Of course, because I know the benefits of it. But yeah, so I would say that's one of my challenges. And then my other challenge was I grew too fast. And that is a true thing.
Yeah.
People, and I was like, there's no way it could be a true thing. And actually, now that I read a lot more books of other entrepreneurs, very successful people, or I listen to podcasts of very successful people, they say that, yeah, a business can grow too fast and it collapses.
Yeah.
And I feel like I didn't collapse, although, obviously I'm still here,
No.
but I did hit to a point where I was just growing way too fast that I couldn't sustain it.
Yeah.
And so then, so everything just becomes too much of like this. And then, you lose control over it. So that's kind of where I had to take a step back and go, like I got to take a step back and restructure this and get it all figured out again. So those are my two main challenges I think of the back of my head was making sure I have profit to enough to where I can hire so I can grow.
Yeah.
And then I had growing too fast, which means I was investing way too much money at too much point, trying to grow. And I did grow, but I didn't have the support to be even trying to grow that fast. Yeah, exactly. So those are two things I learned from running this business. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Now, if we could touch on pricing, right? Because that's, with anything, I think that's one of the most difficult things.
Right.
Right? That's because usually they say, well, what does the market want to pay for it? Right?
Right.
But there's businesses and, entrepreneurs that don't care about the market. I don't care what the market wants. The market demands this, but
yes, that's actually something I did. When I first started, I was like, oh, what is the market price? What is it going for? I want to beat that price. Right. And that was one of my, like, if I can go back to younger and, me, I would try to take that out of my head completely because I make my pricing. And especially when you start building yourself, service is a lot to people. People will pay for that service. And two, who's to tell you have a price tag, right? And that's kind of why I can never go back into a corporate job because I don't have a price tag. You don't get to tell me my price tag every hour, right? I get to tell myself that. And that's where I am at today where that's okay. I'm okay with someone going, oh, you're way expensive. And I'm like, that's okay. No problem. Because the next person might be more than happy to pay it. Yeah. And it's nothing to them. Maybe that's just not in their budget. And I'm okay with that. And I respect that. There's someone that might be in your budget, but this is what I want to be paid. And this is my worth. And it took me a long time. And I say that and just, it did. It really took me a long time to go, you can get paid what you're worth. People will pay it, and, so yeah. And finally that kind of definitely helped me get out of, all my money going into business. I was able to put most of my money into business, but still have a nice little salary going for myself. Eventually I got to that point where I was able to put money away for myself and put it into, and then have money for the business. But then I was like, cool, I can hire an assistant. Now I have money for an assistant. Yeah. You can't do any of that if you're only being paid for yourself, Does that make sense?
Yeah.
With you?
No,
yeah.
Of course.
So pricing was huge for me. I just felt like I didn't want to lose customers over pricing when that's not the case. The next customer walk in, if you're promoting yourself, you're giving the customer service, you're doing everything you're supposed to as a business owner, it will come to you eventually. I mean, you have to go get it, but
well, of course, you have to put in the work, but
right.
Trial and error.
Trial and error for sure.
Because let me try this pricing range, or let me try this, and let me add this service and see how it changes the price, or the how people see the perspective on that price, right? Is that all plays a part, and that's what is one of the difficult things. But
yes.
But like you say, you would charge, right, what you feel is proper for what you are offering.
Exactly.
And you know best of what you are offering, right? And of course, they see it from the outside, or they just see it from for one thing that it is, but really never got to experience it, and they will never know. Right. But if they took upon it, and then they had the whole service, then they may understand that.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, there's nothing that I do different other than I'll use two examples. One, I use example pricing name brands, right? Yeah. What makes that purse any different than the purse for $30? Yes. Maybe it has leather and this and that, but you can literally buy the same purse here and the same purse here. You're going to spend, $3,000 here, or you spend $100 here. you might put that $100 purse down because it's not name brand, and you'll go for that $3,000 purse because it is name brand. Why? Because it made a name for itself, right? And I say the same thing, but it might be the exact same purse and you save money, you know. But and my other one was no, the other one was better. It was a better example, and I can't think.
Pricing.
Pricing. I was gonna use like a luxury spa.
Like what?
A luxury spa.
Oh, right.
I was gonna use pricing like so. You know, you can walk in, and I use Brooke Williams as a good thing because I feel like everybody knows that name, Brooke Williams, especially if you're into the spa. Like if you like that spa treatment, you like the massage. Other than maybe like it's being a bigger space, or there might be a pool and I'm a little bit more amenities, but you still go pay $280 from the same similar tech that can do what I can do, and you're happy to pay it, right? And then same with, you know, and there's no question about it. So what makes me any different? I might not have as many amenities and stuff like that, but I think I'm valued at the same. They're still coming in for the same treatment and the same care, and it's one-on-one. Yeah. Yeah, I just thought of something else too, and I can't think of it. I just remembered right now, and I was like, oh, it made total sense. But anyways, we'll skip it.
Yeah, it's just, I know that's one of the difficult parts. It's just the right pricing. Like, well, how do you price it right? And then it just, first, of course, the math has to add up.
Right.
Right, because if you're not at least breaking even, and you're gonna go out of business. But to not say going out of business is a bad thing, right? I mean, the effort, the money, yes, it will be lost, but the experience gain.
Yes, and I personally have seen other people, you know, stop their business, and there's nothing, and I when I see someone close, it's not always a sad thing. Sometimes it's a learning opportunity for them, so that they, you know, they grow and they go, they maybe end up getting a corporate job that this business taught them some marketing strategies and stuff, and they got maybe a dream job they never thought they would get, or maybe they just lost their business, or, you know, maybe improper financial situations, stuff like that. But doesn't mean that exactly they didn't get the experience from it, and that experience they can take, and no one can take it from them. And then they can go open something else and have more experience on that. So I don't think ever closing a business is a bad thing. If anything, it's trial and error, like everything. And yeah.
No, like it's if you could make a profit, then make it. I mean, trial and error, right? Figure it out. That's the hard part. Pricing does play the important factor on that, right? Because that is the revenue, that is the money, that is the cash flow. But it's just trial and error.
Right.
At least hopefully you break even, but of course the goal is to profit, and then take it from there. If you're going to grow, if you want to just, you know, live a better lifestyle, however it is, right?
Right.
That's at least gives you that option.
Right.
Now, 2020, right? Pretty difficult. Would you agree? Especially because you're on the service side.
Of course.
Right, and human contact limited. But this on social media, January 23rd, 2020, you stated, always stay true to yourself. Never let what somebody else says distract you from your goals. When I hear about negative and false attacks, I really don't invest any energy in them because I know who I am. Is that still very much true?
It's funny you say that, because I just had this conversation with somebody, and I still stand by that. If it's not worth your energy and you know it's not true, just move on. You still have a goal to reach, and whether that person's there or not, or riding with you, or maybe they're there talking bad about you, that's okay, because you still got things to handle. You still have a business to handle, and I truly stand by that. And when I hear that, and I smile when you hear that, because I remember writing that, and I remember writing that because it was like, you know what, it's okay. You know, I might not be perfect, and I run into errors and I run into things, but who doesn't, right? And the best thing you can do for yourself is eliminate any negativity or anything bad that's causing you to feel a certain way, so that you can continue to thrive. And it's okay. And I like I said, I stand by that. It's okay to, I'm gonna say, think you're not. I was gonna say think you like the shit, but think you're good. Like, you know, because you have a goal. You have a goal, and and you're not perfect. And I always have, and like, you're not perfect, and you're not everybody's cup of tea. Yeah. So, yeah.
There will be good and there will be bad.
Always,
I mean,
yeah.
and
When it comes, and I put that on people. Some people will love you. Some people won't like you. Some people will believe in you. Some people won't. Yeah. And that's okay. And you're still you, and you still gotta push yourself, and you know, and as long as you believe in yourself, that's all that matters.
Okay, for me, as I'm talking to you now, right, and getting to know you better, because of course I don't know you, right?
We just met.
Yeah, we met.
We did.
No, we just met, and I mean, I technically stalked you online so I could know more about you, course, right? Yeah. And get to know
that's
you.
That's what it's for, yeah.
But I mean, so far it's been tough, and you know, at times it's harder than others. But what can you tell me about the energy part? What have you experienced it, and what can you share about this energy?
A lot. Whether it's physical, like mentally, people around you. I'm gonna stick with more. Let's talk about the energy of people around you, because I heard this quote, and I stand by this too. Mm-hmm. You are who you surround yourself by. Mm-hmm. Okay, so if you surround yourself by negative, and maybe they weren't negative the entire time, but if you're constantly, if that person's negative, it's okay to like let that go for a little bit. You know, put it aside. You know, you're still cool with each other, but just let it go, because if that person's negative, that negative energy is going to continue going on to you. Same with mindset, right? Yeah. If they have a smaller mindset than yourself, and you're surrounding yourself around that, that's the same energy that you're going to get back. You're going to continue to have a smaller mindset. This is kind of what we're talking about, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. And so, you know, if you have a higher mindset, if you really want to grow, you got to surround yourself by people that have the similar mindset or want to grow, because then that energy rubs off on you. Yeah. Like I said, that negative energy is going to rub on you if you're continuously hanging around with someone that's negative or feeling down, or they just in the same spot. Yeah. It has a lot to affect on yourself. And trust me, this past year, I personally had to, not that I don't care about them and love them, but I personally had to eliminate certain people in my life, if I want to continue to grow and feel great. Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. People grow apart all the time, or people, you know, separate their ways, and it doesn't mean in 10 years or 5 years we can't reunite, but you got to focus on yourself and your own energy, and you got to protect that bubble. Yeah. Right? And if you don't, that's where things start falling apart. So, and I learned, and I've learned that personally. I've learned, you know, I've surrounded myself by both. And if you want that positive energy, you want to, you know, grow and become something amazing, you got to continue on focusing on positivity and that energy of, you know.
We're going to start wrapping it up. Okay. Just a few more. Now, for your lash supplies, right? Is it e-commerce? Do you ship and all that? Mm-hmm. If there was one advice you could offer to other business owners, right, and in the e-commerce section, because I had a few other guests that have their own e-commerce, right? Mm-hmm. Some relatively new, some have used it for a while, but what is an advice you could probably offer them that you maybe thought you knew, or how to approach the e-commerce?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the product topic. Find a product and go with it. I don't feel like you have to buy a crap load either. Like, don't feel like you have to like supply like let me take that back. So don't feel like you have to buy everything for everybody, you know. So for instance, if I could redo my whole line, redo it all over again, I probably would start off with just a certain type of lash and a certain type of adhesive instead of trying to purchase everything at once or trying to sell everything. That way you can promote it, make your funds from that, get your name going for those two amazing products, and then you add another thing, and then you launch that, and then you add another thing and launch that. And I personally have seen it. I've done it myself, where we feel like we have to, when we open up e-commerce, or we have to feel like we have to open up a store, we have to have all this product on there, when you can literally have one product and get it going, get it selling, and believe in it, and you know, and that's how you can get started. You know, I've run into people like, oh, I just don't have the money. You start it. Just put the one product that you believe in, that you believe that's great, and it's yours, and then roll with it and go from there. Don't feel like you have to have an entire store full of a bunch of stuff to accommodate everything and everyone, you know. So that's one of my biggest tips, because I felt like when I started my lash line, where I felt like I personally made the error was I went from, you know, going with just this thing to trying to buy everything, you know, and just to accommodate. When if I had to take a step back and started focusing on just promoting my lashes and my adhesive. And so then a lot of other products sat, but I had to take that moment to take a step back. I have a mentee that is trying to start an e-commerce, and I told her the exact same thing. Just start with the one. If you believe in your adhesive and that's what you want to go with and that's what you use, throw it on the website. You know, you'd be surprised. People will just go to a website just for one thing. You know, think about, I mean, Amazon's great, but I think about all these other small businesses I buy from. I literally buy strip lash from one business, and I'll buy my strip lash adhesive from somebody else, or maybe my foundation from one company and my bronzer from another, you know? So yeah, keep it simple. You can, and you can open, it's free too. That's why I'm big on like e-commerce, because I'm like, you don't need very much to invest into it to get it started, you know? Just promote the crap out of it. As long as it's a good product and you believe it, I think it will work.
Okay. So you seem to be a person that's always hustling, right?
Yes.
Always thinking, like you say, on the next dollar. Is there something you could share with us that's coming up that we maybe didn't cover?
That I'm thinking of?
Yeah, next business adventure or anything on that you could share?
Well, I hope to expand, but I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to, energy. We're keeping it because I know it's going to be blasted. So, but the expanding is in the works, and with a few other services that I'm expanding the spa side of it. And then I'm currently in the middle of expanding the like they said, the ebook and stuff like that.
Right.
Is this what you're asking?
Right. No, right. Well, whatever.
Right,
Whatever.
So and the reason why is because I just made a post about this, and I didn't post about it. I put it on my story. I spent all these years building this business. But my daughters are getting older. And so the point of this whole business, and if I take it all the way back from when my daughter was in my stomach, I started this business to make sure I could be there for my kids. Yeah. So the main thing, my main focus this year and where I plan to grow is my online and mentoring others that may need the mentorship.
Yeah.
And so not only do I get to help others and grow that side, I will be able to focus on my kids just as much. And so I'm actually personally taking myself away from the chair. Not completely. I'm not there yet. I'm not ready to give that part away, but definitely focusing more on my students. Like I said, the mentorship and my kids. And that is the main reason why I got in this business. And I had to take a step back and go, wait, this is why I got in my business. So I can make sure I'm there for my kid, for my kids. So I'll be launching all that side. So I am able to stay at home or, take a phone call and not have to be in here every single day.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, great. Is there something we have not covered or that you like to add about your business?
No.
No, I think we covered it.
I think we covered it all, yeah.
Okay.
Other than you can ask me for help. No. No, yeah, I think that's it. I'm always just I'm big on helping other communities. Other entrepreneurs. So I'm always just like a text away or call away. So yeah, I'm an open book because I didn't have the helping hand. I'm definitely a helping hand.
Okay, so we're gonna jump to the segment, Main Street Questions.
Cool.
Special little segment.
Okay.
Yep. All right. So who do you admire or follow that influences your business mentality?
You know, I admire quite a few actually. I don't want to put their names out there completely, but there is quite a few, and they know who they are because I tell them all the time. You admire me, or you're a reason why I want to grow. But they are definitely one person is smaller than I am. She just works out of a studio, but I admire her every single day and her hard work because it reminds me every day that, we all have goals. And then there's somebody that I currently admire, and she's huge. And then to even just put it this way, there's a student I personally taught when she first brand new in this industry, and the other two are not in this industry. This one I admire her a lot, and I actually look up to her now in certain ways. I personally taught her, and she's grown tremendously and surpassed, and I just admire her growth and everything. So yeah, I mean, I don't want to put their names out there. I'm sure I would appreciate it, but
they know who they are.
They know who they are, exactly.
Okay. What is one thing you have benefited from social media?
Meeting people.
Oh, really?
Oh my goodness, yeah. I don't. Every time I jump on social media, I learn a lot. But I also get to reach out and see and build connections. And when they say, and this, the strangers become your friends, it's so true. Like, it's so true. There's people that support me and they message me or talk to me, and they live, I don't know, in the East Coast. Some live down the street, and we've never met each other, but we're supporting each other. And I think that's such a great tool. I've met a lot of great people over social media. Not only does it help my business, but if I have to think, social media is to find very like-minded people, that algorithm thing.
Yeah.
So it shows a lot of like-minded people, and you get to meet a lot of people that way. And it's crazy because people go through the same struggles as you. Some people are doing the same thing as you, or some people are building similar businesses, and you're going through all the same struggles. And me being a mom, I don't get to really make friends out there because I'm busy and being a business owner. So this actually gives me that opportunity to connect with other people. Yeah. So, yeah.
Now, do you have any books, articles, or quotes that you recently came by that you'd like to share?
So there is actually a book, and it's called CEOs Are Lazy. I swear that's the title.
I think I just seen that. I forgot where.
And I saw it through social media, so maybe it's the same thing. And that book, man, and this book is great for someone that's already established a business and they're trying to grow it. And so this book has impacted me a lot because it took me a step back and go, and this is actually coming back onto my kids. This made me realize, wait, get off that chair, Brittany, because you are trying to run it as a CEO and you're not trying to be the employee. Right. And so I really enjoyed this book. This is my my third time going over it, but this time I'm actually listening to it. So the first time I read it, the second time I read it and listened to it, the third time I'm just listening to it, so I can catch things that I didn't catch the first two times. So if you own a business or you're currently growing that business and you're ready to structure it into having employees or having help, this is such a great book because it makes you think outside the box, and you're like, wait a minute. You're right. And that's actually one of the main reasons why I was like, you know what? That was the reason why I started this business, and that was the goal of this business. I need to step away from the chair and actually handle the business like a CEO. Yeah. So, and it's crazy because it says CEOs are lazy, and And it literally is, but it's like you have to have a structure in order for this business to become very successful. You have to have, everyone has to have their job, and you can't be that everybody, you know. So yeah, that's my definitely a recommended book.
CEOs are lazy.
CEOs are lazy. I believe that's what it's called.
Yeah, no, you're right.
It's those words. It's for
Yeah.
sure those words, but maybe not that exact way.
Lazy
Yeah.
ass CEO.
Yeah.
No, no, I think you're right.
Right. Yeah.
How would you define wealth?
How would I define what?
Define wealth.
Wealth. I just talked about this one too. And so I've been doing a lot of reading and a lot of like, and what it means to me. And I used to think wealth is money. And don't be wrong, everyone loves money.
Right.
But wealth is actually, for me personally, is my time, you know, and I can't take away time. And as I grown this business, I look back at all the time I spent growing it. I can't take back the time. My kid, like I said, my kids are growing older. One's halfway to 18, and that's with wealth. I'm not in it. And I used to be like, oh, it's about the money. Don't get me wrong. I would love if this fancy car, but if I could just live a happy life, watch my kids grow, and not miss moments with them. That's what wealth is to me. And spending time with my family. You don't realize how much warmth to your heart it goes when you can watch your kids, you know, do amazing things. So, yeah, that's what wealth is to me, honestly. And I used to be like, when I first started the business, I was like, oh, it's money. But now that I've put my time, like I said, I put my time into this, wealth is definitely about time. Mm-hmm. And then and then to bring back into that topic, not everybody gets the time, you know, and that's something that I've lost people during COVID, and so yeah, wealth is it's definitely has to do with time.
Yeah, well, we're not promised tomorrow.
Exactly, we're not at all.
Given to where you are now, however it may be, right? What is an advice you would give a younger you?
Don't be so hard on yourself. I've always been hard on myself. I'm still hard on myself.
You need to be, though.
Yeah, of course.
But explain.
You know, I used to always get upset or down, like I'm gonna cry. No, you're doing good. You're doing fine. Life is going to be just okay. And to give myself credit, you know, there's times where I walk into this door and I can be like, you know, it's whatever. But someone else can walk this door and go, whoa, you know, this is a gold mine. I forget to give myself credit. I forget to go, I got here, you know. And I always feel like I'm, you know, failing, or when doing certain times of my business, I am failing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm just going to go back to my younger self, you know, and don't let people affect you. Yeah. Like always remember your energy and your time is precious. So don't waste it on people that wouldn't care to waste it on you. So those are for sure, my two things I would say.
Energy is precious, and so is time. Mm-hmm. Right? Which do you choose? Coffee or tequila?
What time of day is it? No, I'm kidding. Coffee. Coffee for sure. It's just better for my mind. And it keeps me going. Yeah, for sure coffee.
Okay, no, there's some alcohol stimulates the mind in a different way.
Oh, of course. Oh, trust me. The best business talks are through tequila, but the best ideas come through tequila. No, you're like just your mind's no. But definitely my go-to is coffee, only because I'm out of energy 90% of the day. No,
but yeah, it's more effective.
Exactly. Coffee. I was like, dang, you made me choose a too hard like.
Yes. Yeah, choose one or the other. Okay, so can you, if people who wish to reach you or your business,
of course,
where can they find you?
Best way to contact me is through Instagram, and that's at Hello Beautiful _ Lash Bar and Spa. That's the best way to reach me. Or they can text me, but my receptionist or my assistant normally has my phone. So Instagram is the best way, and I get to see your face, and I get to like actually, have a connection with you in that way. So I can see who you are, remember your name, remember your face. So if you ever walk in here, I can be like, oh yeah, you're from Instagram. That I feel like that's just honestly the best way to reach me. Yeah.
What was it again?
It's at hello beautiful _ lash bar and spa spelt out.
Okay. Well, Brittany, thank you for your time. Thank you for your.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
But all right, guys, you ready here? Hello beautiful. Follow her on Instagram. Next time, check out her website, of course. Any other social medias connected to your business?
Yeah. I have it's at Hello Beautiful Lash Supplies _ Lash Supplies. That's actually my Lash Supplies and Academy. And that's it.
Okay. Well, love you guys. Take care.